Hi friends, today is 13th of April 2017 and we are going to cover article of The Hindu. In this particular video, we are going to cover an article written by Kirit Parikh whose title is Powering India-Nepal Ties. Actually, this article revolves around the import-export of power trade which could strengthen the Nepal and India ties. So, the subheading of this article is this is an opportune moment to push for electricity trade with a long term perspective. This article is totally about the import export of electricity, or rather we can say power, and its long term effect both in the development of India and Nepal. Mainly Nepal will be on the upper side by the profit motive, and India will also have that much of profit, but not as much as Nepal will have by this step. So the article is like this. An important step in promoting electricity trade between India and Nepal took place on February 14 when Energy Secretary level talks, known as the Joint Steering Committee (JSC) meeting concluded in Kathmandu. Among these lines, the thing that we can extract is only JSC. This could be asked in prelims, and this is important. This is important from a further point of view as well. So please remember this. After that, here it was decided to endorse the detailed project report of 400 kilowatt Batwal Gorakhpur cross border transmission line. Here the exact location, the area around in the vicinity of which this trade is evolving is Butwal Gorakhpur cross border transmission line. This could be asked in prelims, so keep remembering these type of factual information or bullets. After that, he has written, it follows the guidelines issued by India's Ministry of Power for cross border electricity trade on December 5, 2016. That this is an opportune moment to push for electricity trade with a long-term perspective. Here, this statement has been substantiated in the forthcoming para, and by lots of fact, figure, and data. The author has in a very idiosyncratic manner, he has just substantiated this particular line, and this is the whole essence of today's article. Nepal is short of power and will need to import power for some years to accelerate its economic growth. Here, an approach towards economy has been made by the author via the import export of electricity, or rather we can say power. India has surplus capacity at present. Stance of India. In the years to come, it can fruitfully import flexible hydropower from Nepal to balance its fast growing renewable generation and also provide a market for Nepal's electricity. Here, the import of flexible hydropower should be imported from Nepal to India, and this will not just help India to emphasize more on renewable generation, but also it will help Nepal to boost its economy. India and Nepal have been talking about electricity trade and joint project for many years now, but somehow this talk didn't succeed. Actually, what happens in Nepal was that due to domestic political turmoil, the trade or the agreement of import export of power is not fulfilled by both the countries due to domestic circumstances, internal domestic political circumstances. This was not on the way where it should be. So in 2014, where India and Nepal signed a power trade agreement. Though they have signed power trade agreement, and the doors to invest or to work at Indian cost with Indian power market for both Nepal developers and traders was not done to that much of extent. At first, Nepal was apprehensive that it would not get a fair deal trading with a large neighbor, but power is not traded in India on exchanges transparently, and the price is known to all, thus as using some of Nepal's apprehensions. So that was an ambiguity that Nepal was facing due to its internal political tumultuous, and after that, what happens is that Nepal was not able to have that much of profit that could be reaped from India due to its sheer size. What data show? Due to political uncertainty, the development of Nepal's hydro potential has been delayed. That's what I was saying. Out of an economically viable and technically feasible potential of 43.5 gigawatts, only 0.8 gigawatt had been developed by March 2016. Thus, a great opportunity has been missed. By selling power to India, Nepal could have developed its economy at a faster rate. Here, the paradox that has been mentioned here is that Nepal has its potential of generating 43.5 gigawatts of electricity, but due to its internal political rivalry, only 0.8 gigawatt has been produced yet. So by exporting India the what we call the hydropower electricity, or electricity, it will boom its economy at a much faster rate. Here the substantiation has been given by an example of Bhutan, and actually Bhutan has done the same thing, but not like the way that Nepal has done to India. So the Bhutan has actually reaped what he sowed in the form of engaging in import export of power with that of India. In actually here the fact is given, which is quite admirable. Here the fact is that in 1980 the PPP, purchasing power parity of Nepal, was $475 only, and in 2015 it rose up to $7,860. And one paradox is that the PPP of India at that time was only $5,730, which is approx $2,100 less from that of Bhutan. Electricity is required for economic growth and well-being. It is a fact. In 2015, Nepal faced load shedding of up to 16 hours a day during dry seasons, when the available capacity of Nepal's hydropower decreases to a third of installed capacity. Here the fact of Nepal, the loss that has been done to Nepal by its own internal political disturbance is delivered through this fact. After that, peak load outstripped domestic power generation capacity, causing serious power shortage, which was partly met with by import from India. Here the shortage has been made by import of electricity from India. The shortage faced by Nepal. Nepal's electricity supply in 2015-16 was around 5100 gigawatts, of which 3300 gigawatts hour was domestic generation, and remaining 1758 gigawatts hour was import from India. Then here the importance of India has been discussed here. Import has increased steadily from India. Import increased steadily from 746 gigawatt hour in 2011-12 to 1758 gigawatts in 2015-16, an almost threefold increase. Nepal also exports electricity. Nepal also exports electricity to India in some periods, although in very small quantity. Per capita electricity consumption in Nepal is one of the world's lowest at 119 kilowatt hour in 2012. Then here this could be understood that Nepal's lowest consumption of electricity is only due to the lowest availability of electricity that is beared by Nepal. So that is the main reason why Nepal come among the world's lowest consumer of electricity. After that, it has an ambitious target of reaching 16,500 megawatt of hydro capacity by 2030, which includes the joint project with India at Pancheshwar. Energy study. We at the Integrated Research and Action for Development have carried out a detailed modeling study which explored electricity trade potential on an hourly basis till 2045. The study was carried out as a part of US aid supported South Asia Regional Initiative. For energy integration project. So that was fact. The trade takes place at a price that is acceptable to both buyer and seller. Its macroeconomic impact has also been estimated. For example, Nepal's revenue from export of electricity to India increased its ability to import more goods and also to invest more in economy. Here the economic pump priming has been discussed here by some gain of profit from export, which is not only due to the presence of electricity but also due to some other reasons, but here the presence of electricity has been prevailed in that particular line. So here we could say that when electricity you export electricity to a largest nation, then you will get some sort of duty, and that duty will that amount that you get as a duty or a service tax or tax or whatever in whatever ways you got from that nation will be just to act as a pump priming factor to your own economy. That has been discussed here. After that, it is written that this increase its gross domestic product, that is GDP. After that, what are the subsequent effect of that particular pump priming or that particular actually here we can say that this is acting on a model of the invisible hand that is given by Adam Smith. Because if you are importing or exporting electricity, not only it just giving a profit in that particular area, but also it just endeavoring you to excel in some other areas too. So that is why this can be compared with that of invisible hand. So after that, here the subsequent factor that has been affected by the pump priming of economy is that GDP, that is gross domestic product, consumption and use of electricity, which improves quality of life. Standard of living will definitely affected by use of electricity. If you don't use electricity, that means you are unaware of modern gadgets. Modern gadgets are beyond your reach. So that is awkward situation of 21st century to any country. After that, the prospect of electricity trade with India makes it possible for Nepal to develop its hydropower potential and has important consequences. Here, just we discuss the gist was same. Even though significant export to India will begin only from 2025 because domestic capacity development takes time, Nepal could already benefit through larger import of electricity from India. Increase availability of electricity, accelerate its economic development. The construction of transmission lines to import electricity become lines to export electricity by 2025. After that, Nepal imports 0.7 billion kilowatt hour in 2020, but by 2025 export 18 billion kilowatt hour, which increases to 65 billion kilowatt hours by 2030. These are the absolute fact, and no need to remember this fact. Just have a feel of that fact, so that in mains answer writing you could give the gist that what you read in this particular newspaper. After that, trade also benefits India. Yes, it is a fact. WTO, the principle that has been in the base of WTO since its establishment, is that trade benefits every nation which involves in trade. Even when actually the flow of development, when a trade happens between a developed country and a developing country, then the actual flow of profit due to that of trade is larger to developing country. But it doesn't mean that it will not benefit, or it will not enhance the prosperity of developed nation. It will by its weightage, or by something, by a specific proportion, it will definitely affect both the country at a major aspect regarding or with respect to the proportion or specific manner that should be given to that should be given, or that should be measured by some specific standard economic terms. After that, meeting the evening peak. Here the word evening peak in India, when its larger solar PV capacity would not be available, becomes easier and cheaper. The gains in monetary terms are comparable for both Nepal and India. Actually, it is very, for Nepal, it should be very easy to trust India. Actually, Nepal has its vacillating character towards India due to the fixation of some monetary disputes. The whole democratic internal democratic disturbance of Nepal is based on whether India will give Nepal a genuine monetary fund, or whether it will purchase in appropriate cost, or whether not. So something like that stuff was prevailing in Nepal at that time. But Nepal should trust India, as Bhutan is a live example. So after that, therefore, the sooner Nepal develops its hydropower potential, the earlier the benefits for electricity trade to materialize. Policy, institutional and technical infrastructure are necessary. Building hydropower projects and transmission infrastructure is highly investment intensive. Without a stable, long-term, conducive policy and an institutional environment in place which ensures payment security, it is unlikely that investors will put their money in this risky business. Recently, the Indian government issued guidelines and draft noticeable on cross-border electricity trade (CBET) policy to enable India-Nepal producer trader to seamlessly exchange power with neighboring country. This is important. This could be important from men's perspective, and also from PT point of view as well. This should be remembered. CBET, and for what CBET is prevailing in the system is to exchange power with neighboring nation. This should be stuck in your mind. A climate of confidence and trust in a long-term trading relationship between India and Nepal can greatly help Nepal meet its ambitious target and provide an opportunity for Indian investor to invest in Nepal. Trust is the basic factor which only prevails in respect of successful entrepreneurial spirit. So that should be kept in mind while doing any business, or while claiming such statement regarding entrepreneurial spirit. After that, here it is written, this could help us smoothen our recently strained relation with Nepal, as well as strengthen our historically friendly ties. Here, the article has been put on hold, and this article is written by Dr. Kirit Parikh, a former member of Planning Commission, and also he is chairman of IRADE. So, guys, I hope you dive into the article very well. If you have any query, or if you just want me to change my way of delivering my ideas or something like that stuff, then please do contact me on my number, or please leave a mail on the email ID that is flashing in your screen. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Have a good day ahead.